watched all the videos here. I've seen all the evidence. I don't know of 6 victims.
Well, the reason I said 6 victims is certainly only 2 girls were depicted on the video, but it was an apartment housing 6, and I'm assuming all 6 of them felt like their privacy had been violated. That's all I meant by that.
Okay, one girl undressed for 10 seconds does not make 6 victims. I've seen the video. One girl in a state of undress for 10 seconds. That's all.
There's another girl that was depicted, I didn't want to talk about this, but there was another girl depicted going to the bathroom, wasn't there?
No nudity from the belly button up.
You don't think she felt violated by that?
Is that a victim?
How I define victim, yes.
Someone can watch me walk into a bathroom from the belly button up, and I'm not going to be a victim. So we got to call this what it is.
Well, I agree with you that there were only 2 girls depicted on the video, either in nudity or going to the bathroom. I agree with you there. I just said 6 because there were 6 people in the apartment, and I'm sure all 6 of them felt violated to know that there was a camera, even if they weren't caught naked. I'm sure they felt violated by it.
Well, they certainly weren't recorded.
Okay, and I agree with you. And so I don't think there's any dispute as to the facts there. Anything you want to add to that, Mr. Wood?
No, Your Honor, that statement of facts is correct, but it's one thing to walk into a public bathroom and have people see you in there. It's quite another to know that someone's placed a camera in a place where you expect extreme privacy. And I think that makes each of those girls a victim.
When I found it.
found it.
He has relatively no criminal history, no prior felonies. He's 20 years old at the time this crime happened. He does eventually confess, so he cooperates with law enforcement by providing a confession. He has never been through probation or parole, never been charged with a felony. And so, by all accounts, this 20-year-old last year is immature and he's fragile. He's gentle, he's kind. The host of letters that have been submitted by the people who knew him are shocked, are dismayed by what they see their friend, their loved one could do. And so that's the Jamian Hernandez that is due to be sentenced today. He's not a monster. He's a 20-year-old, immature by all accounts. Even his friends call him that. Fun to be with, but immature for being 20. Jamian has admitted what he's done. He's spent the last year and a month in jail, and he knows that the minimum this court can give him is 10 years. He knows that's the minimum. How can we justify giving a 20-year-old immature boy who had so many adverse childhood experiences in his life, how can we justify giving him a 28-year sentence? Justice does not require that. The goals of sentencing in a case, how do we deter Jamian and others from committing crimes like this? How do we rehabilitate him? How do we punish him? And how do we protect society? This is a situational case that Jamian will never be involved in again. He needs to be punished, and he knows that. And that's why we're asking the court for the 10-year sentence. The indeterminate tail is up to the court, but we're asking for the 10 fixed.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, we've heard from your attorneys, and now if you wish, is your opportunity to make a statement. Would you like to do so?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then you may proceed. I'll invite you to stand while doing it.
Your Honor, this act wasn't committed in rage against money. It was about the loss of somebody I cared about. And I know that I didn't know. And, I know that I need to be punished. Whatever you happen to come to conclusion on, I will respect. And I do thank you for the time. I believe that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Such a young man committing such a deplorable act, and this offense does demand a significant sentence with great consequences. The motivation for you to act, to take this life, is something that the court has struggled, even with my understanding of these mitigating facts in your history, to understand and wrap the court's mind around. I have reviewed the letters that have been submitted, and I would note, is it fair to say, Mr. Archibald, that a number of the people seated behind you are here on his behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
The trauma that exists with the kind of force, deliberate act with the bat, the kind of fear that I think must have existed in this woman's mind as you approached her and had been in her home. And then the description of Mr. Clark, I don't know of another description, but looting the place, are all very aggravating factors. It is true that you don't have a prior criminal history. You're a young man. Difficult upbringing. There are two significant considerations for the court as I apply these objectives of criminal punishment. The first is easy, and that is the indeterminate period. Because there is nothing that this court can do to restore what you have taken in such a deliberate and violent way deserves an indeterminate period of life. And without any reservation, the court imposes a life sentence. The next is the fixed period. The state is suggesting 30 years. As you know, the statute requires 10. And in fact, as this case began, the law enables even the taking of your life. And through the history of this case, I understand that that was removed. An agreement was reached. You've made yourself accountable by pleading guilty. You've given a description of what occurred. And all of these things may be considered for your credit. As I evaluate the facts and circumstances of this case, those objectives of criminal punishment, the court will impose a 25-year fixed sentence, as I indicated, followed by an indeterminate life sentence. There will be a $10,000 fine. Mr. Clark has invited the court to stay a restitution order for a reasonable time. The court will do that, expecting it to be 30 days unless there's a showing that is otherwise needed. Court costs and the Victims Relief Fund are standard in this case. The court will impose a $5,000 fine, compensatory fine, and Mr. Clark, do you yet have information as to who would be the benefactor of that imposition?
Your Honor, that's what's still being dealt with the record searches.